Today I'm going to be going over SEO GPT-2 with you. This is a brand new system that we have created from scratch. It's very different from SEO GPT-1. SEO GPT-2, we have been using it in-house for about 6 months or so. So it's got a lot of mileage on it for us to understand just how well it works and fix all the issues and bugs before we release it to everybody. So that's exactly what we've done. And in addition to that, we put a great tremendous UI on top of it to make it very easy for everybody to use. This is going to be, I think, the most advanced long-form AI content creator that you have ever seen. And I hope you like it. So we're going to go over all of its main features next. SEO GPT-2 has something new called writer persona. And we're going to take a look at what this does. But essentially what it does is it's going to give you the ability to control the writing characteristics. It's as if, imagine now, whereas in GTP1 you kind of have one single voice. In SEO GPT-2 you have the ability to kind of choose who you want your character to be. Do you want it to be a professional writer or a freelance story writer? There's several options and we're going to go through those. Okay, so we're going to first take a look at what are some of the main features. There's dynamic topic relations, refers to a brand new way of looking at AI content writing. This has actually never been done before. It's SEO vendor's own patent pending technology. And what it does is it integrates your topics and maintains your narrative flow so that you don't have a disjointed article, especially if you're giving it keywords and a bunch of other things. So we're going to be going over this as well. And then SEO GPT-2 also has this new feature called the live research engine. And this is brand new. It's also something that we have experimented with inside the core AI plugin for ChatGPT, for those of you that are familiar with using that. This is based on that technology, but it goes further with more in-depth content research. It can actually search through a really long article and find just the pieces of insights that it needs to write. So that's pretty cool. And a super smart AI. So definitely in order for the system to be able to write a really good article for you, you're going to need a really intelligent AI. And this is an AI that we have not only trained, but we've put in a lot of additional effort into ensuring that the AI is going to be a really good writer. And this is something that we're not just talking about. It's something that we have literally tested with thousands upon thousands of not only just writing articles, but many thousands upon thousands of hours that have been spent. And this is also something that the internal team also uses as well. So we've got a lot of I guess you could say, mileage on this before we've released this out to everybody to use. Now, the one thing that we did want to make it possible for users was that we wanted to make it easy, very easy for users to come in and use. We didn't want this system to be complicated. On the internal side is actually pretty complicated because it's more of an expertise tool. But now that we made it available on the user end, we wanted to make sure that you can generate an article in just a few minutes, like from start to finish. And I'm going to show you exactly how that is done. It's not confusing, and we've gone through a bunch of content writer tools that claim to make it easy, and they haven't, and we've just tried to make this the best one possible. The other aspect of this is that we include SEO and alignment analysis built in, being that we are based on a SEO vendor, a SEO company. We do know a lot about SEO and how to make content SEO friendly. that's really at our core. And so there's a lot of analysis in here that you're not gonna be able to find anywhere else. That's all about SEO and how to align the content. And what you'll find is that this is going to be so much more than just matching a keyword. And as a matter of fact, you're going to find that just matching a keyword into the article isn't going to matter much at all. And we're going to show you why. Another aspect is auto subtopics. So this was actually pretty big and a very difficult piece to put into to make it work. Auto subtopics, as you can imagine, is based off of what we already built for topical authority and also for coming up with subtopics inside SEO GPT-1, but this goes much further. It's much more intelligent. It's got to take a lot more information into consideration before it decides on what kind of subtopics it's going to create for you. And so far, it's been one of the most enjoyable pieces to use is seeing its ability to come up with subtopics completely on its own. SEO GPT-2 is also based on a multi-threaded engine. What this means is that you're going to be able to just generate article one after the other. You don't have to wait for an article to finish writing in order to start on another one. So if, say, you've got a workflow in your organization, or you got many projects that you have to deal with and you have to put all this time into just writing articles or waiting for the system to finish before you write another one, you don't have to do that here. You can just enter in all the information and let it all queue up into its workflow, and the multi-thread engine will work on these articles until they're all done. So it's a very efficient system. We try to make it as scalable as possible. And another thing I actually wanted to bring up about the subtopics as well is that we have put in something called reference sources, and I'm going to be showing you that as well. So you can imagine, in addition to subtopics, not only does it come up with the subtopics for you, it actually goes out there, finds the reference sources that matter most to the subtopics under your topic, and then brings that in as a reference source to write about. So it's not just writing about, some crazy stuff that the AI comes up with. No, it's writing based on actual citations or cited sources of information that's available out there. And usually this is newest stuff, so newest information that's available out there. So there's a lot going on in this system, but I'm going to show you it's actually really easy, even though it's got all these complicated components in it. Okay, so over here I've got the SEO GPT-2 article wizard already opened up, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through and just show you how to create an article. So I've got some sample article titles lined up, and we can take a look at those and see how well it writes. So the first topic that I had in mind was this over here. I'm going to copy it over. Okay, so how about let's do an article on the future of urban living, smart cities, and sustainable development. So this is going to be our article title. And if you have trouble coming up with the title, you can always use our topical authority tool, which is something we're not going to go over in this video, but if you're interested, we do have a separate video on how to use the topical authority, and it'll help you come up with a neat title even if you don't have one. If, say, you just have keywords or very little information, and it'll help you to create some title ideas. Now I also have some keywords that I would like to enter in along with it, so I'm going to be putting those in as well. And let's say my keywords are going to be smart city, urban planning, sustainability, free living. All right, now actually these aren't really great keywords, as you can tell. They're all kind of two-word, single-word keywords, but let's just say for the sake of demo that that's going to be our keywords. And I'm going to want to pre-check reference sources and subtopics, meaning I could have the system just automated so that if I don't have this checked, then it's going to go through and I'll show you how that works as well. But first we're going to check mark that so that we're going to pre-check everything before it goes out and starts writing. So once I've got that information in, then then we're going to go to language and branding. So this is next. Now here I'm going to choose a language. To start off with, we currently only have 3 languages available. It's either going to be US English, UK, or Australian-based English. Those are the only 3 options. And later on, we plan to support other languages as well. We're going to put in some hypothetical websites and the company brands over here. Now, let me tell you what this does. So if you put in a brand name, that means that the system understands that you're going to be writing this article for a particular company. And if you put in the brand's website, that means that you want the system to check out the website in addition as well, or either or, meaning if you don't want to put in the brand, you only want to put in the website, you can. Just like if I were to go back to the first step where we put in these keywords, it's completely optional. You know, the only thing you really need to write an article with the article wizard, the only thing you really need is just the title. That's it. Everything else is pretty much optional. So I'm putting all the information in so that later we can take a look at how this helps, because you have things like brand alignment. So by putting in the brand name, it's going to help the system to understand how to align the article writing with the brand. If you put in the site, it's going to help it to align with the brand. Same goes for the keywords. And on to the next step, basically the writing options. This is pretty much the final step that you need to take with this system. Just choose how many words you want. Let's just do, let's say, 500-word article, just to kind of make it quicker. The content type that you want. So either, right now, there's only 2 choices. Either you're going to use it to write an on-page blog article or an off-page guest post. So essentially, you know, you're not going to be using this system to, say, write an essay for college or, have it write a press release. The only content types that we have currently available, this whole system is optimized for either writing a blog article for your own blog, like a client's blog and whatnot, or it's going to be for off-page purposes. So you are writing an article to be placed on a third-party website, a guest post, things of that nature. Okay, and then you can choose the tone to go with. So either it's going to be professional, informative, engaging, witty. Let's just go with professional for this. And then the person or the perspective. So this is going to be where you get to select, do you want to talk from an I standpoint, or you, or just kind of it, they. We're going to use second for our demonstration purposes. And then last but not least, and this is just something that you can just kind of set and forget, is remember earlier I talked about a writer persona. So on the side over here, you can choose a writer persona. And currently we're, let's just go with professional writer. And this is a setting that once you set it, it's pretty much saved. And you have the option of selecting like a professional writer, a marketing expert, a freelance story writer, a business blogger, a technical writer, or a seasoned journalist. So depending on maybe the type of content that you're writing, you may want to adjust this to see, if you wanted to kind of characterize your writing a little differently based on sort of a base persona that you want to work with. But pretty much any kind of genre or writing that you're going to do, the professional writer is going to be more than capable. Same as with marketing expert, pretty much if you're going for a little bit more of a sales copy or something that where you're pushing it out more as a marketing company, then I would suggest going with marketing expert. But for this demo, we're just going to use professional writer. Okay, and pretty much that's it. We'll do another example where we go into the more advanced options, but I just want you to also notice that in case you forgot what options that you've put in or what settings you've put in, they're all right here in this blue section over here. Every setting that you have placed in, pretty much they are all here, so you can take a quick glance at it if you want to before you click the write it button. And then the other thing is that, just so that you know, these settings where the number of words, content types, tone, person, these are all what we call set and forget settings. So meaning once you've set these, they're actually saved for your convenience. The next time you come in here and write this article, these settings plus the writer persona is going to stay. So in case if you want to use it again, the only time they change is if you change it, and then they're going to stay with the new setting that you set this to. So for now, we're just going to click write it, and you're going to see that it's going to start the research subtopics and references process. And it could take up to 5 minutes, but usually this is pretty quick. So you can see that it's asking you to now confirm the subtopics. These are the subtopics that it's come up with. Now we have a very short article, so we don't have a whole lot of subtopics that we're going to go with. So these are the 3, and you can change these. You can change them to whatever you want them to be. You can also decide the header type, if you want it to be an H1 or an H3. The H1 is obviously reserved for the title for SEO purposes. And then you can decide if you want to put in a reference source. So what the reference source could be an article, a web page that you want the system to take a look at and read, and yes, actually read it. And it can't be like a PDF or like a Word document or anything like that, but it's basically anything else that resides on a website. You can put the URL link over here, and as long as a web browser can get access to it, it's going to be able to get access to it as well. But for this purpose, we're not going to put in anything here. You can put in as many as you want, and up to 3, because there's 3 subtopics, and essentially every subtopic is going to be looking at pertaining to a different reference source. So you can enter up to 3. You can use the same source if that's what you want to do, but what the system's going to do is it's going to find the best source based on the subtopic and the title and all these other settings that you've put in. Based on all of that, it's going to come up with that title. So below, you're going to see over here that it's already given it an estimate paragraph length of 167 words. And this is primarily because this is a 500-word article, and we have 3 subtopics. So there's actually quite a number of things we got to all put in there. There's also going to be an introduction and conclusion as well. So generally speaking, once I confirm this, that's what I'm going to do now, then when it starts to write the article, which you see it's going to queue up all of these different tasks, like compiling the research and structure review, the dynamic topic relations, the read and extract reference points, and then draft the content paragraphs, then write the introduction and conclusion, which a good writer knows that that's something that you should do last, not first, and then proofread SEO, and then do some final polishing. So these are pretty much the steps that it goes through. But I just want you to know that as it's going through this process, you don't have to wait for this. So you can see down below it's writing, and it'll tell you the percentage. And once it's done, it's going to turn green into like this ready, like the one underneath it. But at this stage, we don't need to wait. We can actually just hit write another article if we're ready to set another one up, which is exactly what we'll do. So what we're going to do is this time we're going to take a look at just how quickly we can write an article. Okay. So meaning if we were to just take the absolute minimum steps, what are they going to be? Here we are back at step 1. We're going to put in our article title. So our article title is going to be Artificial Intelligence in Education, Transforming Learning Experiences. Now these titles, they can be long or they can be short, but if you put in a detailed title, chances are it's going to be a little bit more niche in terms of the content that's going to write as well. Okay. And like I said, we're just going for absolute minimum. So we're not even going to pre-check reference sources, and then we're going to go straight to branding. And this is already the setting that it had before. So that's we're not going to change anything. Go to writing options. These we're going to leave the same. So we don't have to change anything. So we just went, and all we did was we just put in the title, went 2 steps over, and we're going to click write it. That's it. That's all it takes. And you can see the article is already queued up as well. They say, so the only difference is that if you write an article like this, then obviously there are no there's no keyword or brand name or anything like that that's going to take into consideration. So meaning it's going to write it anonymously. It doesn't know who it's for. It's not going to take that into consideration. It doesn't know any keywords that you would like to have optimized inside of it, which that's okay. So it's still going to write the article. It's still going to try to optimize what it can, but it just means that it's not going to have any of those factors taken into consideration. That's all. So this is going to be another 500-word article, and you can see that while it's doing that, I can actually just start doing this again, and I can write again another article, and it has no impact on the system as it's working. This article is already finished. This one, the first one that we were looking at, so it's ready. So let's click into that and just take a look at what information it has for us. So here it is. We have a 500-word article, and it wrote a total of 661 words. And the reason why it's a little bit over is that, as you'll see, it's also including like the title itself in those words, and it's also including the references. So generally speaking, the system we've designed is so that it always writes a little bit over. At least that's what it should do, so that it can produce a line of article for you. It tells you the total number of characters as well as its completion rate, and then also provides you an overall SEO score. So we're going to be taking a look at this 82%, and later on there's also some information down below on how to improve this score. And one thing to kind of take note is that keyword alignment, it really is the new sort of keyword optimization that you have to do for SEO, because this is not the year 2000 anymore, and you can't just be hard coding keywords into your article and stuffing and things like that. And the article has to more or less align with the keyword. Whereas imagine, there's so many different ways to say the same thing, and you're just going to only do one keyword. Imagine that. So what Google thought is exactly that's a problem, and it's not going to do that. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to take a look at, well, what's around your keyword? What does it say about the keyword and its relationship to other similar keywords? And so it's going to look at the overall relevance of the keyword inside the article, depending on what it actually talks about. So this is going to be more why it's more important to look at keyword alignment rather than just look at individual keywords and say, oh, I got this keyword in there, I got that keyword in there. That just isn't what Google's looking for anymore. But what's great about this system is that you can see that of the keywords that I placed in, you can see the keyword alignment actually tells me an alignment percentage or a score. So it tells me a 5 out of 5, 100%. So that means all the keywords that I placed in are 100% aligned with the topic and what this article is about. So that's a great sign. Remember, I also put in a site, and the site alignment, what it tells me is it's about 60% aligned. So what it did is it looked at the site, it looks at the URL of the site, also looks at the name of it, and says, well, it's kind of aligned, and more so than not. So it's going to take that into consideration as well. If we were to look at the brand alignment, though, if what it did is it found that, okay, your brand is it has good alignment, meaning like you're not a dentist trying to talk about car repair, so that wouldn't have really good alignment. The next one, the final one we're going to look at is instructional alignment. On this one, we didn't have anything because we haven't shown this feature yet. It's more of an advanced feature where it can actually measure how well the article aligns with the instructions that you have given it. But other than that, you have the whole article here on the left-hand side. You can also copy to clipboard easily if you just wanted to copy all the information somewhere. And by the way, you could do this so easily that this is actually all doable on a mobile phone. You don't even have to sit at a desktop in order to get all of these articles done. So you could just work completely from your phone. We've tried it. It actually works pretty well. You can make modifications. This is a full edit tool that you can use to put in links, change things, and modify, make things bold, italic, change different paragraphs if you wanted to, move stuff around. This is all available here, and you can save changes whenever you like. And then down below, there's actually a writer's analysis that's from the AI writer, of course, being in this case, and the writer persona being the professional writer. So that was the one that we selected. And this is what it has to say. So in terms of SEO guidance, it says a longer article will help search engines consider the depth of your article and explore your topic in greater detail, which is true because we only wrote a 500-word article. Now, for whatever reason we wanted to, we only needed a 500-word article. That's fine. Just for fun, we're also going to run this through an AI detector. This is not something we're going to go into detail in this video, but if you guys are interested, we can make a video on especially for AI content detector and go through that and see what it says. Okay, here we go. So let's analyze that. Okay, good. So it's telling us it's human generated content, even though it's not. And then we're gonna, let's just test one more. There's over here, there's another free AI content detector, and let's analyze the text. This one tells you percentage wise, is it more towards human or is it more towards AI? So according to this, it's 0% almost certainly written by a human. Interesting. Now, let me show you how to get to this tool. So if you don't already have a SEO vendor account, what you can do is you can go to our website, seovendor.co, and just sign up for a free account. That's all it takes. Once you have an account, you're going to end up over here on this overview screen once you've signed in, and then just click on SEO GPT. Now, if you want to get to SEO GPT2, then just click on the article wizard under SEO GPT2, and that will take you to where we write the article. So just sign up for an account if you don't, and you're going to be able to use it and test it right away. So if you made it this far, I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you enjoy this video.